Can a decision be considered good if it yields profits but compromises ethics? Ponder over that for a moment. It's not just legality that's at stake here, but morality too, the very essence of what makes us human. In the business world, this translates into ethics in managerial decision-making. Ethical considerations require leaders to strike a balance. They must cater to the interests of various stakeholders, be it employees, customers, shareholders, or the community, while upholding integrity and fairness. It's a tightrope walk, especially when they face ethical dilemmas, situations where they must choose between conflicting values or interests. Let's delve into the key aspects of ethical decision-making. To start with, we have integrity. It's about acting in alignment with principles, values, and beliefs, even when no one is watching. Then comes transparency, the practice of being open and honest in all communications and actions. It's like a glass house where everything is visible, nothing is hidden. Next, we have fairness, ensuring that all individuals are treated equally and justly. It's like a balanced scale where everyone gets their due. Responsibility follows, acknowledging and accepting the consequences of one's decisions. It's like a mirror, reflecting back the results of our actions. Lastly, we have respect, considering the rights and feelings of others. It's like a soothing balm that maintains harmony and goodwill. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the real-world implications of these principles. A prime example is the case of Johnson & Johnson's Tylenol crisis in 1982. Faced with a life-threatening situation, the company's management chose to prioritize consumer safety over financial concerns. They recalled all Tylenol capsules from the market and maintained transparency throughout the crisis. Guided by their credo and ethical considerations, their decision is often hailed as an exemplary response to a corporate crisis. Indeed, ethical considerations in managerial decision-making are vital for maintaining trust and credibility in the business environment. They demand a commitment to doing what is right, even when the situation is complex and challenging. Remember, a decision that aligns with ethics is always a good decision. Ever heard of the SWOT analysis? Its creator, Kenneth Andrews, had a lot to say about ethics. This Harvard Business School professor not only introduced us to the invaluable SWOT method, but also advocated for ethical decision-making in his book Ethics in Practice: Managing the Moral Corporation. Andrews emphasized the importance of ethics in management. He believed that managers should not just focus on what is legal, but also what is morally right. This involves making decisions that are in the best interest of all stakeholders, including employees, customers, shareholders, and the community. He stressed that this balance is necessary to maintain integrity and fairness, even when faced with difficult situations that might tempt one to favor one group over another. In his book, Andrews introduced a framework that guides managers in ethical decision-making. He discussed key aspects of this process, including integrity, transparency, fairness, responsibility, and respect. Andrews urged managers to act consistently with their principles, values, and beliefs, to be open and honest in all communications and actions, and to ensure that all individuals are treated equally and justly. He also emphasized the importance of acknowledging and accepting the consequences of one's decisions, and considering the rights and feelings of others. One of the most compelling aspects of Andrews' work is his insistence that ethics should be integrated into every facet of management. For him, ethics was not a separate component, but a fundamental part of good management. This perspective is not just about avoiding legal troubles or public relations disasters. It's about creating organizations that are genuinely committed to doing what is right, that are built on a foundation of integrity and respect, and that are able to earn and maintain the trust of their stakeholders. Andrews' work has had a profound impact on the business world, influencing countless managers and leaders to prioritize ethics in their decision-making. His teachings serve as a reminder that ethical considerations are not just about compliance or avoiding harm, but about actively promoting fairness, respect, and integrity in all we do. As Andrews demonstrated, integrating ethics into management is not just beneficial, it's essential. Project managers often find themselves at the crossroads of ethical dilemmas. How do they navigate these challenges? In the realm of project management, these ethical dilemmas can take many forms. They might involve conflicts of interest, where a manager's personal or financial interests could potentially clash with the best interests of the project, the team, or the stakeholders. For instance, a manager might be tempted to favor a supplier with whom they have a personal relationship, even if that supplier may not offer the best value for the project. Ethical dilemmas can also arise from stakeholder conflicts. Different stakeholders, be they team members, clients, or shareholders, may have competing interests or visions for the project. Balancing these diverse perspectives and ensuring fair treatment for all parties involved can be a delicate task, one where the project manager must tread carefully to avoid bias and favoritism. Resource constraints can also lead to ethical dilemmas. In an era where doing more with less has become a mantra, project managers may be pressured to cut corners, potentially compromising quality, safety, or ethical standards to meet tight budgets or deadlines. So, how can project managers navigate these ethical minefields? That's where ethical decision-making models and frameworks come into play, serving as valuable guideposts in these complex situations. Take utilitarianism, for instance. This approach suggests that the most ethical decision is the one that produces the greatest good for the greatest number. Then there's deontology, which argues that certain actions are inherently right or wrong regardless of their outcomes. And let's not forget virtue ethics, where the focus is on the moral character of the decision-maker, emphasizing virtues like honesty, courage, and fairness. These frameworks don't provide cut-and-dried answers, but they do offer perspectives and principles that can help project managers make thoughtful, well-informed decisions that uphold ethical standards. The path through ethical dilemmas in project management may be complex, but with the right tools, it's navigable. In 1982, Johnson & Johnson faced a crisis that tested their commitment to ethics. How did they respond? Picture this. It's the early 80s. Johnson & Johnson, a trusted household name, encounters a nightmare scenario. Their painkiller, Tylenol, is linked to several deaths due to cyanide poisoning. Now, this isn't a manufacturing issue, but a case of product tampering after the bottles reached the shelves. However, the company's management faced a daunting decision. Johnson & Johnson could have easily distanced themselves from the issue, citing that the tampering occurred post-production, but they chose a different path. They placed the safety of their consumers above all else, even their financial interests. In an unprecedented move, they recalled over 31 million bottles of Tylenol from the market. But they didn't stop there. Transparency was a key component of their crisis management strategy. Johnson & Johnson communicated openly with the public, keeping them informed about the ongoing situation and the measures being taken to resolve it. They didn't shy away from the crisis. They faced it head-on, with honesty and accountability. This decision was guided by Johnson & Johnson's Credo, a document outlining their responsibilities to consumers, employees, communities, and shareholders. The Credo clearly stated that consumer safety was their top priority, and they lived up to this commitment, even when it was tough. What was the outcome? Well, Johnson & Johnson's swift and ethical response to the crisis resulted in the company regaining consumer trust. Their decision is often lauded as an exemplary response to a corporate crisis. It showcased the power of ethical decision-making and the importance of corporate responsibility. In retrospect, Johnson & Johnson's handling of the Tylenol crisis wasn't just about managing a crisis. It was about making the right choice, even when the stakes were high. It was about being true to their values and maintaining their integrity, even in the face of adversity. Johnson & Johnson's handling of the Tylenol crisis remains a powerful example of ethical decision-making in action. So, what does all of this tell us about the role of ethics in managerial decision-making? Our journey through the realms of ethical considerations in decision-making has revealed its intrinsic value to the business world. It's akin to a compass, guiding leaders through the often murky waters of tough decisions, illuminating the path to choices that are not only legally compliant but also morally right. These considerations pivot around the core principles of integrity, transparency, fairness, responsibility, and respect. They serve as a beacon, enabling leaders to balance the interests of all stakeholders, be they employees, customers, shareholders, or the community at large. They foster an environment of trust and credibility, crucial for any business or organization to thrive. Reflect on Harvard Business School professor Kenneth Andrews' ethical framework, or the dilemmas faced by project managers. Think about the Johnson & Johnson Tylenol crisis. These are stark reminders that ethical dilemmas are not abstract concepts but real-life situations. They are moments that test the mettle of a leader, demanding the courage to choose what is right over what is easy. Yes, ethical decision-making can be complex. It can mean navigating through conflicting values, interests, and the constant pressure to deliver results. Yet, it is this very complexity that underscores the importance of ethics. It is in these challenging situations that the commitment to uphold ethical principles becomes most evident, most needed. Remember, the value of ethical decision-making extends beyond the immediate decision at hand. It shapes the character of the leader, the culture of the organization, and the trust and respect it garners from its stakeholders. It is the bedrock of sustainable success, a testament to the timeless truth that when we do good, we also do well. Ethical decision-making isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. After all, when ethics guide decisions, everyone benefits.